What's going on, guys? I'm coming to you with another banger for this week. Hope you guys are enjoying the content. And you guys already know what this video is about. It's going to be my thoughts on marijuana. So throughout the last few years especially, at least in my life, and I know throughout the last few decades, some would even argue, marijuana has skyrocketed in popularity. Everyone wants to get a hit, everyone does it, and overall it's just become a very powerful and popular drug in the eyes of many. And especially with its recent legalization in a lot of the states, it's only going to keep rising in popularity. So is it actually a bad thing, or is it maybe overhyped and overplayed? Let's get into that right now. So basically, I'm going to start this off by saying that if you smoke weed one time or two times, it's not going to do anything. Like, first of all, it might not even work for you, because my first time, it didn't even work. But I know that a lot of people, even if it does work, they end up not liking it, or something happens that kind of diverts them from doing it for much longer than that one time or few times. So if you're experimenting, obviously be careful, but that's a little bit different. I'm talking to the people who actually smoke weed on a religious basis, like daily, weekly, stuff like that. So by itself, weed is a very powerful drug because it can perform the medicinal qualities of a lot of popular medicine without a lot of the preservatives and the bad ingredients that medicine has in it. Because weed in itself is a plant, right? It's not as unhealthy as something like a prescription drug might be, and it definitely doesn't have the same side effects. So in that way, I think that weed, and especially research on weed in cases where people have medical illnesses or issues, is a very powerful field. But there's a big but here. The main issue with weed is that it makes you happy with being complacent. Most of the people who I've seen smoke weed, especially friends of mine, stuff like that, the reason why they smoke weed is because they want a quick escape from the trouble that their life has with it right now. Like, they don't want to deal with their problems head on, so they take a hit of this plant, and they instantly forget their worries and feel good. Dopamine is flooding their system, and they're basically using a drug to feel happiness. And that's a very dangerous game that I don't think anyone in their right mind should be playing. Because the more you numb yourself to this feeling of unproductivity or unconfidence, the more it will eventually bite you in the ass. Because instead of doing something about it, you're numbing yourself to an actually good and accurate feeling, which you should be feeling at this moment of your life. If you're feeling unproductive and unconfident, it's probably because you are. So why smoke something that'll make you feel the opposite way for no reason? Why not just work towards your goals instead? And I think that that's really the biggest problem with weed, is that it kind of deters people from working towards their actual goals because they don't feel the need to. They're already satisfied with being average and complacent. And that definitely scares me a lot, because I always want to be leveling up and improving myself in some sort of way. I don't want to just be, stagnant and flatlined. I'm not saying that every single person who smokes weed has this problem, but I know that a lot of them do, and most won't admit it. So if you smoke weed and you can admit to yourself that you do it as a route of escape, and you do it to numb yourself from your everyday problems, hey, you're already one step ahead of most, because most people have a really tough time admitting this. And obviously addictions are bad. We've seen this with adult content, we've seen this with masturbation, we've seen this with video games and all sorts of other bad things that we've cut out of our lives. I think this one could be a little bit more extreme because it can literally make us unproductive 24 hours of the day if we let it. And obviously a lot of that also depends on the strands, but if you're at the point where you know so much about weed that you can individually pick out the strands and like you're deep into it where you have a high tolerance, all I'm going to say is just check yourself before you wreck yourself. That's going to be my one thing. And another huge problem with it is that it's extremely expensive. Like, if you guys have ever bought weed in the past, you would know that it's very, the cost of it is high. And it's not really a good use of our money, especially at an early age where we don't have that much of it, probably. So we should be really just investing in ourselves and our success for the future. And it's basically the opposite of like self-improvement and everything we talk about on this channel. Like just being able to expand ourselves and improve ourselves is taken away because we have this fixation, this oral fixation on smoking and getting high. Obviously there's a lot of peer pressure involved as well. I think that it's a very social thing, like people love smoking in a group and stuff like that. But honestly, whenever my friends smoke around me, I'm not really peer pressured. And I think that's a lot to do with the fact that it was never a taboo in my life. Like, I was able to try it without anyone getting mad at me or anything like that. And I was able to really figure out my honest opinion about it. But my point still stands that overall, it's not a very good practice. It's kind of like playing video games. It's very time consuming. And while people mostly say that they do it in moderation, I think that's a bit of a cop-out because how many more productive things could you be doing in that exact time period that you're wasting just smoking your life away? And that's honestly my overall opinion on it. I think that it's not like bad, but it's not good either, and it doesn't really help you in your life. So with that being said, I'm going to end it off here before I get too in depth. If you guys disagree with me, comment down below. I'd love to hear you guys' criticism and feedback. And with that being said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.